Alright, today I'm going to be showing a little devlog what I've done for GalacticSmith. I revamped the NPC controller. I added a shopkeeper quest giver as their own NPC, a group of NPCs, a new way to set the dialogue, and a list of general conversations to be played. And I did a little pixel art upgrades, and so I'll just we'll go ahead and we'll show. So we got the SFML splash screen, so that's the API I'm using. Go through the title screen. Now I have no save data on this file, so we'll hit, and I made this new character customization color system. So you can click and slide the mouse on this. So say we click, we slide it, you can make different colors. Now let's say reset, do like a little purple, or a little pink, I suppose that would be, green and blue, makes kind of that. And yeah, you can go ahead and customize your character slightly now. So let's make a color here. Now, how about just the red and the green combined to this nice yellow? Hit save. So now we have this this color, and let's say we were to save and close her down and reload. It's going to go through the splash screen and the title screen again, or the two splash screens, I should say. When we go here, we are in fact the color that we picked. So does save that. It doesn't make you go through it each time unless you make a new game. So here's a bunch of NPCs that is randomly spawned. They all share the same animation clock right now. They have a little quest or a little dialogue box. They each have their own independent dialogue. Some of them right now is a little buggy because they don't show any dialogue. But we can go through. Sometimes when you're close to two characters like this, you'll have two dialogues pop up. And I gave them some just very basic dialogue. Alright, so if we go over here to the right, here's a little pixel art house I've been making. This is where the shop NPC and the quest giver are. So let's connect some resources real quick. This way, check the inventory. Put some little oxygen. Walk in here. So I did a little improvement for the building. If we talk to this guy, he's got a little seed shop. Right now there's no currency, so you can just straight up buy the random seed. If we talk to this NPC here, it goes, hey, gather 10 stone for me. So in this quest, this did say 0 before. Now I didn't showcase that, but let's say, hey, gather 10 stone for me. Let's look in our inventory. Okay, we got 30 stone here. So let's go back in there, talk to him. This is a little buggy too. You can see there's a little text behind as it wasn't completely cleared, but it's getting there. So it says you can now build a furnace. Okay, so if we come back in to this area, if we look at quests, this does say 0 because there's no current quests. Go into inventory. We now have this here, which allows us, after we click it, to wherever we click on the screen, to have a furnace appear in that general location. Now this next quest requires you to gather over 10 iron to see it actually activate for the quest. Go ahead and grab coals, walk in here. I'm going to check our inventory again. I got about 60 iron. So now it says smelt 50 steel for me. So if we come in here, we're going to throw in some iron, throw in some coal, smelt the steel, grab it. If we look notice right here, there's no icon. If we come in here, we talk to him, it says you can now build a crafting table. And this is the icon that he's referring to. So now if we come out of the building, and we come in here, if we click on this, it uses some resources, and again, like the furnace, wherever we click, that's where it's going to appear. Go in here, click on these, and you can click on each word, and if you were to click on that word several times, we'll put 5 in a piece. If we click on output, right now it'll only make one output, and that is the robot. So here's the robot. If you hover over him, it'll automatically bring up this command line. We can tell him to go get coal or iron, so in this case we'll say coal. I'll close it, and he's going to go to probably the first coal on the list and work his way back, and might as well come up here, make another output, collect a little oxygen ore so we don't get too low while I'm showing the mechanics off. So it's, again, something I've mentioned previously, I will not be having this type of player speed for everybody. This is just simply for debugging purposes only. It allows a lot of things to be figured out, moved around, that type of stuff. So tell that robot to collect iron. He's going to be on his way. So here, my idea for GalacticSmith is make a space RPG with some crafting mechanics, monsters, weapons. So he's going to have either a sword or a gun or both. Looks like our first robot came back and it's filling up the furnace. So we come in here, look, he's dropped some coal in there. And so a couple of things I've been thinking about is perhaps we could make, by the way, I mean simply myself, but perhaps I could make a couple towns, right? So right now we have one house, very singular, and it has only 2 people in it. But if we had maybe 4 or 5 houses in a general area where the player spawns, create an actual story to go with it, and then allow the player to have some type of map accessible, perhaps inside of the screen here, with allowing the player different biomes to traverse. These would be unlocked via quest, and the general game loop would definitely still have some crafting, gather, craft mechanics. These robots though are very handy as they can gather resources for you. And some of the quests, perhaps they'll send you on fighting a certain monster. Maybe to defeat that monster efficiently, it would be better to have certain items previously crafted, brought with you. Maybe some of these are disposable. This current oxygen system might be changed to be a little more forgiving, so you're not constantly feeding yourself oxygen. However, if you were to take damage, maybe it broke your the visor, the glass, maybe then you start losing more oxygen quickly. Maybe you would need some type of repair kit. That type of stuff would be made off of these resources. But each biome area, as kind of like a progression, would have better resources that wouldn't necessarily do the same thing to make other items obsolete, but just give more options available, as this game progresses. There's a few things that I want to do. I want to keep it in SFML API. I could make it in Unity. I could make it in Unreal Engine. However, this is something I like. It's very easy for me to use. Yes, the graphics are to be improved upon. I think that's quite likely, seeing how the pixel art building came out. That making the map look better, making the player look better, things like that is very possible. Wondering too where that iron guy went. So very interesting here. I do have a day-night cycle set in. As you can tell, it's a lot foggier and there's nothing here. Same map. Music seems slightly louder. So one thing I've done is when I started making this game, it was for a college assignment, intro to coding, believe it or not. And when I made it, I wanted to make a day-night cycle. However, as I've been slowly refactoring, changing, adding things to this engine, I have not spent too much time actually making the night cycle reflect what is available in the day cycle. Currently what happens is on switch of the time cycle, it will save the game and load it instantly into a new window. Everything that is there would still be there. So for example, if we go over here to world clock and I set it back to a daytime and then we load it back in, once this the splash screens get through, you'll see that it'll not only be daytime, the furnace and the assembler should still be here. Interestingly enough, though, the assembler does not appear to be there, so I kind of wonder here. Looks like upon the switch. So that's kind of the interesting thing. So if we go over here to day, I'll show exactly why the assembler did not load in. So right now, I believe on exit or on save. So if we go to right, so here is a good example. When we open up the shop map, we're actually saving all the assembler, furnace, player. When I exit, so on pull event window is closed, same thing, assembler, furnace, player. But I guarantee after seeing what happened there, on switch of the time, so if we go up to the timer, yep, that looks about right here. Yep, so when time swap equals 300, so that's roughly 5 minutes, it will save the furnace and the player. But if you notice, I did not put the assembler data. And it's small things like that, where as the game gets bigger, I don't necessarily think about what I already had in place and make sure that it is already there. So that's a very simple bug fix. So now, for example, let's hit play, and I'm going to do a little time swap so we don't have to wait too long. But first off, I do want to place a furnace down. Okay, or an assembler, I mean. So we're going to grab this tool, place that down, give ourselves a little oxygen real quick, and we're going to come into this assembler. We're going to give it some items, a couple stone, a couple coal, some steel. Looks like I was out of, didn't have enough stone to give it a couple, but anyway, save game, close it. I'm going to go back over to the save data here. We're going to change this to 295, so roughly 5 seconds or so after we load in, we should see the nighttime swap. So assembler, boom, nighttime. And if we close, it does automatically save on close. And we can see that reflected here in the world clock as well. So we're going to reset it back to break of morning, hit play, and now that that assembler should be there. Now, so that's a lot of moving parts, but as time goes on, this will be improved. Right now, as I'm spawning these NPCs, they're randomized color and randomized location, randomized text. That's one thing I'm working out with the blank text boxes, is something that I want to get that figured out, but I also have a lot of other priorities. I want to set in a lot of early mechanics in the game before I worry too much about getting the actual game loop built. I think it's very important to have a very good game, but at the same time have the mechanics basically ironed out and in place, so I can almost drag and drop in a way, right? I already have save data figured out. I have some customization for the character, shops, quests. The logic is to be improved upon, but those things are there. And eventually making a crafting system perk tree, right? So instead of the quest giving you the immediate ability to make a furnace or make a crafting table, perhaps those will stay like that, though later on to maybe make a robot or a better gun or make a sword, those things would be behind some type of perk tree system where you do a quest, you get X amount of perk points, you can spend them as you want to kind of go up a different path, so to speak. I want this to be a good RPG where you decide where you want to take it. You don't have to play it like everybody else. And yeah, so that's my devlog for the week. Thanks for stopping in and listening.